10,000 women marched to demand that Belarus president resign.
Here's a summary of the article.
Kiev, Ukraine. About 10,000 women marched noisily through the Belarusian capital on Saturday, beating pots and pans and shouting for the resignation of the country's authoritarian president in the 35th consecutive day of large anti-government protests. Others carried placards reading, "You painted my heart with blue paint," referring to President Alexander Lukashenko's claim that some women previously had painted themselves to appear to have been bruised by police beatings. Some protesters have displayed bruises from a violent police crackdown in the days after the election, when over 7,000 protesters were detained. Protests have broken out in other major cities in Belarus and strikes have hit some of the country's major state-owned industries, previously a base of support for the embattled 66-year-old leader. Lukashenko is meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday in their first face-to-face contact since the unrest began. Putin has said he stands ready to send Russian police into Belarus if the protests turn violent, stoking fears that Moscow could use the political dissent as an excuse to annex its neighbor. The countries have a union agreement envisaging close political, economic and military ties, although Lukashenko has repeatedly expressed concerns that Putin wants Russia to absorb Belarus entirely.
This post received a score of 18,000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Remember, Louis XVI was brought back to Paris by Parisian women. Though all sorts of people joined in their march.
Ha facts, but Putin's Russian forces are in Belarus to provide security. You think a full-scale revolution will take place? I hope so. Tyranny must be toppled.
Tyranny as a whole has to be ceased.
The evils that spawn tyranny and fascism are a part of all of us, so it will never disappear completely.
Greater than the evils that spawn tyranny and fascism are a part of all of us, so we must always remain vigilant. FTFY.
It hurts me to see what is happening in Belarus, and at the same time I'm happy to see such freedom-loving people who are ready to go to all the way.
Why was this protest mainly women in particular?
Probably because women are less likely to be attacked by the police.
He can't. How else he could keep in power as long as he wants? Duh.
I feel uncharacteristically out of the loop with the Belarus situation. Can anyone give me the TLDR version?
Dictator declared a 90% win in recent elections, imprisoned the opposing politician. Protests of tens of thousands pop up, police are kidnapping and beating and torturing protesters. Germany has called for international intervention, but Putin has sent Russian security forces there to help maintain balance, i.e. silence protesters. Unless there is a revolution or the UN steps in, Belarus is now under a Russian-backed dictatorship.
Guess Putin's really going for a reunited USSR after all.
Russian Empire.
I would say USSR is more likely. He won't be able to directly rule over the countries for the most part, but he can exert enough influence to control them absolutely. Sad what is happening in Belarus, and nothing is being done to stop it. The only intervention is by Russia, who wants more power.
Europe knows that going against the Belarusian government would mean going against Russia, and Europe is still under Russia's natural gas thumb. They can't do anything without absolutely destroying power systems throughout the EU.
The look says it all.
What brave women. Get the scum out.
The hard-working decent people from Belarus and Russia must be sick of the embarrassment a lifetime of corruption and dishonest government brings them. Russia endlessly denies on a daily basis, Olympic athletes, etc. etc. Change is coming whether Putin and his thugs like it or not. The charge being led by COVID, who knew? Trump and religion in Iran have had it too. About time.
Putin sends his goons to Minsk to beat up women protesters. How brave.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.